Hello Belmont artist, it's me Mr. Fender, and I'm here today to give you our first lesson. Now I hope y'all are actually going to do this with me, and if you do want to do this with me, you're going to need a few supplies. Hopefully it's not anything that you don't have or can't come up with, but anything is adaptable. You can figure out whatever you want to with it. First of all, I'm going to be using two types of paper. I'm going to use lined paper and white paper. Well, actually, you could use two types, and I'm going to show you how to use either one. It doesn't matter. If you don't have paper like this, use paper like this. If you don't have any paper, find a pizza box, McDonald's bag, whatever it may be. So besides this, I'm going to use a pencil, an eraser. I'm going to be following up with a marker, and it's going to be easier for you to see on this camera with the marker. Not sure if we're going to be coloring today, but for future lessons, if you can get your hands on some crayons, colored pencils, markers, anything, that would be great. Last thing is a ruler. If you don't have a ruler, you can use anything as a straight edge. You can see right here, I can use, obviously my ruler makes a nice straight line, but what else could I use? Well, I could use another pencil and hold that to make a straight line. I could also use the edge of a book. The only warning I have about using the edge of a book is don't use your marker, because that'll leave a line on the edge of your book. So if you use a book, again, great way to make straight lines. So find something for straight lines. That being said, if you have a piece of lined paper, it actually will help a whole lot with this. So I'm going to show you probably on both. Did I already say we're making block letters? I don't know. I don't remember. To make block letters, you're going to encounter, if you're doing signs and things like that, you're going to encounter most letters of the alphabet. So the first thing to do is write out the alphabet. Using lined paper, it's real easy to do your capital and your lowercase letter. Now I'm going to try to do these big so that you can see them. So I'm not going to be able to fit everything on one page. I'm going to do my A, my lowercase a, my B, and my lowercase b. Do a C, and a lowercase c, a D, and a lowercase d. Now, I'm going to switch over to marker because I'm not sure how this camera is going to be picking up to show you what I'm doing here. But if you start with a pencil like I just did, afterwards we're going to be able to erase those lines. And I'm going to show you this again just a second on a piece of just plain white paper. Now what we're going to do is you're going to follow the outside lines. I don't know if this one's any good. We're going to follow that outside line, go up, back down, and notice I'm going a little bit to the outside of my pencil. That's fine. Now block letters are very squared off, so all my angles are going to be very sharp. They're not going to be rounded. These aren't bubble letters. I might give you a link to some bubble letters next week. And I come up, over, straight down, and in the middle. Now I'm going to try to keep this line the same width as this line. I mean this opening in the A. I come up, there, and there's a block letter A. Now for the lowercase a, I'm going to follow the curve, but when I get to the edge, I'm going to draw a rectangle. And then on the inside, I'm going to draw a circle. Now some people will tell you that with block letters, you don't need to have a circle like that. It needs to actually be a circle with a straight line in it. I like the way the circle looks, not with the flat edge, but that's up to you. You can make it your own. I'll keep going. Follow those curves, then on the inside, straight line on the straight edge, curved line. Now why is this important? Well, there's going to be lots of times in art, in school projects, when you can use block letters on projects and things like that. Now see, I did the straight line on that. I'm not sure how I feel about it. But on projects and posters and things like that, it's always a good thing. Now, a few months back, let's go back to even last school year, there started popping up these signs around town. And these signs said things like, everything's going to be all right, and don't worry, be happy. Those are all song lyrics, but we don't need to talk about that. But I thought to finish up, after we practice doing our letters and learning how to do letters, we could make our own signs that say positive things. Because right now, when people are out of work and y'all are out of school and I don't have a classroom full of kids and that really bums me out, I need to think positive things. So I want you to, as you're practicing these letters, I want you to think of something positive that you would want to tell me, that you would want to tell a parent or a grandparent or a friend or a neighbor, something like that. And I want us to think about something fun, positive to say, and use your block letters to make a sign at the end. Now, I'm not giving a whole lot of description of what I'm doing, because really what I'm doing is I'm following the lines of the letter that I wrote in pencil. I didn't show you how to erase that. Y'all got to keep me on track. So after you're done, if you can still see these lines, you can erase them away. Now this works if you've gone from pencil to a permanent marker or pencil to a regular school marker, like a Crayola marker or anything like that, a crazy art marker. But you need to make sure that it's dry before you do that. Don't write it and then immediately, because it could smudge it, it could smear it. So that's how you erase it out. Some letters are tricky. Let me show you one. When I was a kid, this took me a long time to figure out, the letter S. That looks like an upside down S. Yeah, let's go with that. So with an S, if I start here, and I draw out, and then I come around and follow this line, look, it flipped over again. So you could actually do them upside down. But I've actually learned that if you draw the top small on the inside, then go big on the bottom, then when you come back to the inside, it works out more evenly. So keep practicing your letters. If you need help, or if you need to stop and do one, you can pause the video and you can come back to it. But while you're working on your letters, let me show you, if you've got white paper that you want to use, I'm going to show you how I would do it using white paper. Now, you need some lines, especially when it comes to making your sign or your poster with that positive saying. I hope you're thinking about something good to say, like, you have pretty eyes. I don't know, whoever, like, you can write a love letter to somebody. Whatever it may be, if you have a piece of paper without lines and you try to do it free-handed, you're going to end up curving down. If you're right-handed, a lot of times you'll end up curving down and to the right. So lines really help you. That's why you have a pencil and eraser, and you just take your ruler or straight edge, whatever you have, and you make real light lines. To make a light line, you don't push down with the point, you write with the side of the pencil. So I'm just going to go make a real light line, and you might not even be able to see it on this camera. I'm not sure. And then, if you want to, you can actually measure. Like, I know that I want to make these letters 4 inches. So I'll make a little line 4 inches down from this line, a little line 4 inches down from this line. But Mr. Fender, I don't have a ruler. You know what? You can count lines. You can see that this is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 counted lines, and then you can use that as your ruler. Go to the other side, make your line. I'm going to go with these lines, and you know what? I think I measured wrong. Let's check. Let's see if I made a mistake. Yeah, I sure did. Look at that. 3.5 inches, 4 inches. Y'all need to keep me on track because I'm not doing too good. All right. So then I'm going to make my other light line. Let's do a word. Well, you don't have to. You can still be working on your letters. So now that I have these lines, I'm going to use those just as a guide. I'm going to do the word art because this is art. Now, I don't want to go all the way to the top and bottom, so I'm just going to do an A. You notice I didn't quite touch my guideline. I'm going to do an R. I'm going to do a T. Now actually this is a good word because this picked out some more tricky letters. Now if I'm going to go over these, I'm going to start to the outside line. So I'm going to start to the outside of the A. You just saw me do an A. I'm going to start to the outside, and I'm going to go from the line that I drew, the guideline on the bottom, to the guideline on the top, and I'm going to match the outside of that A. I think this marker is going to die, but we'll carry on through. Then I'm going to start from the outside, and I'm going to come all the way up. Uh-oh, look at that. I didn't reach. Well, these are block letters. All you do is square it off. All right? Now on the bottom, I'm going to go just inside the pencil A that I made. I'm not going to go all the way up to the cross line. We do the same thing on the right side. I'm going to come over, and I'm going to connect the bottom. Now all I have left is to draw a triangle in the middle. Now this letter happens to be about the width of my pinky. So up here I'm going to use my pinky as a guide. I'm going to draw a straight line. I'm going to follow my angled lines and go up towards the top, not too close. Here's my A. Now for my R, do the same thing. I'm going to start a little bit to the outside. Straight up from one guideline to the top guideline. Now this one gets tricky. Now I'm going to follow the curve. Always follow the curve of a letter that has a curve. I'm going to follow the curve, and right before I hit this second leg, I'm going to stop. Then I'm going to go follow that line down all the way to my line. Stop. Now I'm going to draw a little foot. Draw a little foot. I'm going to come straight up because this line is straight, and then straight up and meet it with that line. So I'm going to come straight up. I'm not going to touch that line. Stop. And I'm going to come straight up. Now I've been doing this for years, and some of you have been doing this for years, but you only get better with practice. I've told you time and time again, art is like anything else you do in life. If you want to get good at it, you have to practice, you have to give it time. It doesn't come from having the best art supplies. It comes from just practice, doing things over and over again. You can build the same type of muscle memory in art that you can in sports.